These women must wear iron-spiked pants every time they go out, an absolute order from their husband, Sang Biao, to ensure the purity of their bloodline. Faced with Sang Biao's unreasonable control, his wife, Cui Hua, has begun to rebel. Taking advantage of an apprenticeship mission to seize water resources for Sang Biao, she turns the vehicle around and drives off in the opposite direction with Sang Biao's wives in tow. Unbeknownst to them, their every move is under Sang Biao's surveillance. Seeing that his wives have fled at superluminal speed, Sang Biao immediately sounds the war drum to rally a death squad and chase them down. Unaware, the wives believe they have already broken free from his grip. Exhausted and sore, they hurry out of the vehicle to rest, only to have a hot pot of truth splashed right in their faces the next second. The wives are stunned speechless. Watching the men approach, they realize the dire consequences if caught and brought back. They immediately scream that they would rather die than return. The hesitant Xiaomei carefully extends a water pipe toward them. Thankfully, the men really are just thirsty, but before the men can take more than a couple of sips, Xiaomei suddenly spots Sang Biao's death squad closing in at superluminal speed. Seeing this, the group hurriedly prepares to get back in the vehicle and continue their escape. However, just then, they realize the getaway car has stalled. Cui Hua was leading Boss Biao's wives in an escape, but Boss Biao saw everything. He then gathered his forces to bring the wives back. Unaware, the wives were still celebrating their newfound freedom. The next moment, they realized Boss Biao's troops were right on their heels. Just as they were about to jump into their vehicle and keep running, Strong Brother discovered the Munman car had already shut down. What was going on? It turned out Boss Biao was the ruler of the Desert Kingdom. He was covered in tough, scarred muscle, but he could only survive hooked up to a respirator. His skin was severely ulcerated and only felt slightly better when disinfected with lime. Because he controlled most of the water resources. He had ruled the Desert Kingdom for 2.5 years. Every day, through threats and force, he recruited many lackeys. Strong Brother was one of those lackeys, but he was different from the other low-level followers. He refused to join Boss Biao's kingdom, preferring to roam free and stay out of the conflicts. But one day, he accidentally wandered into Boss Biao's territory, catching the attention of the lackeys. After 2.5 years of pursuit, Strong Brother's Munman car was finally flipped over. He was then taken to Boss Biao's stronghold, where a bunch of lackeys gave him a haircut and shave. Just as they were about to brand him with a mark, Strong Brother, unwilling to be enslaved, suddenly broke free and sprinted desperately toward a distant light. When he reached the end, he found himself at the edge of a steep cliff. With no other choice, he was captured again by the lackeys. In this kingdom, Boss Biao didn't treat people as human. He brainwashed everyone daily, pushing the idea that he was their savior. Unexpectedly, one of his subordinates, Cui Hua, had begun to rebel. She later helped Boss Biao's wives escape. When Boss Biao opened the door to the wives' prison, he found it completely empty. Furious, he rallied his lackeys and immediately gave chase. The unlucky Strong Brother was forced to join the pursuit. Seeing them approach, Cui Hua swiftly drove the vehicle into a sandstorm passage. After emerging from the sandstorm, they successfully shook off Boss Biao's forces. The wives then got out to rest, which led to the scene at the beginning. Luckily, Cui Hua knew the startup code for the Munman car. After 2.5 years of effort, they finally broke free from Boss Biao's control.